It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, comes up short again, and because there is no effort without error or shortcoming, but who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself for a worthy cause, who, at the best, knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who knew neither victory nor defeat.
When you step on a wrestling mat, you know you worked hard all season long, and now it's just time to show off your skill and just show that you're a Poway wrestler, that you're a lot better.
When I step on the mat, it's my chance to prove who's tougher than who.
Once I step out on the mat and snap my headgear on, like the whistle blows, I'm just totally focused and zoned in and trying to think of the good stuff Coach teaches us. And you're nobody until you beat somebody.
When you step onto the mat wearing Poway singlet, you know you're not only doing it for yourself, you're doing it to uphold a tradition.
Tradition also, you hope, is associated with greatness, you know, and what is greatness? Is it always, most of the time, obviously the first thing that catches anybody's eye is the winning. You know, you gotta win. It kind of turns, you know, and then, but in time, you know, you want it to be more than just a winning, which plays into what becomes a strong tradition, because people want to be part of that winning tradition because it's built on good principles of where a B squad kid can feel just as great as an A squad kid. And that's real important to me. And then over time, parents get wind of that, and then they want their son to be part of that. And it just feeds itself because it's built on goodness. And not, in my opinion, if it's not built on goodness and solid principles, you won't have a tradition for very long. It'll fail. So besides the winning, I think the sound philosophy of making a boy into a man through the sport of wrestling, wherever he finishes, creates a program that people want to be a part of, and then the winning takes care of itself. And the tradition grows. Victor came on the scene so quick, you know, and was so successful so quick. I'm not even sure he realizes what he accomplished. I mean, that's the highest, winningest freshman in the history of Poway wrestling. Tremendous accomplishment by Victor. You know, he has the appearance of very young, almost junior high-ish, but like I've said before, he's a warrior, and he has this. It's like the movie Lion King, where little Simba is a cub. He's looking into the river, at his face, he doesn't see a little cub, he sees Mufasa. He sees the lion, the big lion. So that's the way he thinks in wrestling. So I really like that about him. I wish everybody thought like that. Be much easier to coach, but no, he's gonna be a joy to coach in the future. Now, obviously the pressure is gonna be on him because he's second in the state already. Where do you go from here? So you got to realize he's gonna have to work even harder. So he's a great kid though. They've been, once again, when you have somebody for, well, actually longer than 4 years, because I had them in 8th grade as well, and I knew them back when they were just little boys, and to see them go from 13 years old to 18, you feel like a second dad to them. So, and then seeing it end like it's ended, and all their hard work pay off has been incredibly satisfying. Let's just speak of Gabe, for example, 75 pounds in 9th grade, 80 pounds, working his butt off, and then of course that little setback as a junior where he didn't get to, had a weight issue and had to sit out, and then had to wait an entire year, and for all that to come together this last weekend and finish 3rd in the state of California, wow. It's all that time and effort, it paid off. And he believed in us and believed in the program, and I thank his parents for that a lot, for them trusting us. They gave up a lot as well. And the same thing with Ian Roy.
Going into the state meet brings with it a lot of pressure, especially being a Poway wrestler, because of the strong tradition we have of always going and doing well, not only as an individual, but as a team. And so trying to live up to that tradition is always kind of in the back of your mind. And once you get there, you realize that you're, at CIF, you're a big fish in a little pond. And then when you get to state, you realize right away that every match is going to be a grind, especially, whether you're supposed to win or you're supposed to lose, it doesn't matter at that point, because it's like starting with a fresh slate after the entire season. So you work as hard as you can every match, you try to take it one at a time, and then once you get to those rounds to place, that's where, it really hits the grind, because they're just as good as you, they're just as hungry as you. Most of the time they've done the work that you have, so it all comes down to heart and basically who wants it more. And for me personally, placing at the state meet was gratifying, but at the same time it's not, because you want to do as well as you can, and you want to reach your individual goals, and by reaching your individual goals, that'll help the team hopefully achieve its overall goal, which was to be a state championship team. So placing at state not only helps keep the tradition alive of winning and doing well, but it also helps you personally to try to reach your own goals and to reach your full potential.
So they're in the battle. And whether they won or whether they lost, they're all champions. And that's the way I look at the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. There really is no defeat. The failure comes in not trying. The failure never comes in trying to do your very, very best. They all did that. And so, yes, the defeat hurts. It's all, it's painful. But when the smoke clears and it's all over with, you have to reflect on how you grew as a person, from where you started to where you ended up. Not where you wanted to end up. Of course, everybody wants to end up a state champ, but how many do? So you got to look back at where you started and how far you came, and that is the measurement of your success.
Never let it be forgot that in 2010, the Poway wrestling tradition rolled forth like a mighty river, as high as the highest heights of the mountains, and at times as low as the lowest valleys down below. Warriors wrestled and won and joined legends of the past. A young lion roared. A whole town and school's heart was broken as a beautiful angel was called home to heaven way before her time. The men of Poway entered the state wrestling tournament with orange socks and heavy hearts. Then, as the great gladiators of ancient Rome, they entered the arena all alone. They battled with the proud power of Poway. They fought like titans.